G'day and welcome back to New Hobby High. Now, today something a little different. I am going to try giving my very first battle report on my 1,000-point game that I had last Thursday. It went about as well as you could expect for me. The Ultramarines valiantly shot and valiantly defended right up until they actually had to compete against something that was difficult, and then got their asses handed to them. So I fought Ravenguard again out at Beyond Odyssey Games, which is out here in Perth. Absolutely brilliant shot, by the way. And still, like I insisted, it's still a learning game. And I really enjoyed it. At one stage, I thought it was going really bloody good. If I'm honest, I thought I was going absolutely gunzo. And then, it should be like a Datra. And then the Dark Furies arrived. Because, the moment they hit the table, it fucked me up so badly. It was hilarious how quickly the tables turned. You'll see in my sort of amalgamated video editing, I had to rent a video editor then try and put together all these bits and bobs, little videos. Nothing stitched together well. But you do kind of get the gist of what happened. But anyway, I'll go through what happened. It was a really good game. Thank you very much, Nick, and thank you very much, Beyond Odyssey, for just absolutely just knocking my socks off. You're absolutely champions. So we'll start with the start, shall we? Where should we start? Okay, 1,000 points, I guess. So I have a 1,000-point list here. Now, because I don't really want to do anything that's not painted, I, of course, am, and I haven't actually spent a lot of money on on new units. I've only got what's in the box. My choices were limited, but I think I had pulled together a fairly good list. And I did. Did I fucking press record? I did. Right. So this was my list. I stuck with the same cataphractii Centurion champion with his lightning cores because, I like the model. Then I cracked out Kick Dick McFungle, my Contemptor Dreadnought with the 2 Gravis autocannons because I like the look of it. Not because they're particularly good. I just really like the look of it. I had a 20-man tactical squad with a Nuncio Vox, Vexilla, and 19 chain bayonets as the Sergeant had a plasma pistol, which we'll come back to. That was a freaking issue. Power Sword and Melter Bomb. Troop 2 was the exact same, but a 10-man squad. And then I had a tactical support squad with 5 extra dudes armed with rotor cannons. 996. So not enough to actually get a Praetor or those special game wars. And but it was a neat enough little army. I was quite happy with it. It was all fully painted. It looked all right. And, I had the enthusiasm and exuberance of someone who really doesn't know what they're doing, but is just keen to give it a crack. And that showed in the gameplay, I feel. My opponent, Nick, he played Ravenguard. And, oh my goodness, Ravenguard are just astonishing. He's an amazing painter. Freaking... He's got a brilliant army, he's quite an accomplished list builder by all accounts because once he hit the table with his full force, there's no way that I had any chance of winning in my mind. Now he had 2 10-man tactical squads with bayonets, so just really base burners. He brought out that bloody chaplain again. Who I was rightly scared of after my first encounter with him a few weeks ago in that 500-point army. Thunderhammers are really powerful, especially when you double damage. If your strength is twice your toughness, you just insta die. I'm going to find a way of either boosting my strength. I'm going to start reading through that book and try and find a hard counter for Thunderhammers. I'm sure they exist. Yeah, other than kill them before they hit you with it because they hit last. I'm not sure whether it's the brutal bit or just the double damage bit that actually sucks with thunder hammers. Either way, every time I get hit with one, I don't seem to survive. Anyway, he had the chaplain, 2 tacticals, and the dark furies, which were these mean as hell, lightning clawed, raven clawed, little assault marines with jump packs, and they had with them a chaplain with telepathy. And telepathy is it's I mean, if I was using telepathy, it would be amazing. But when it's used against you, it is bullshit. Bloody oath. It is astonishingly shocking. It basically shuts down your reactions and can't move, can't, and you're basically pinned. Can't move, can't do anything. You get charged. Oh, that's unfortunate. If you got that there, hell yeah, you'd take full advantage of it. It's an amazing little rule. Once again, another one I have to find a hard counter for. Maybe a nullifier or something along those lines. But that's building against an actual unit rather than building an army that's, you're not going to win by building a defensive army, are you? You got to be offensive. You got to pursue goals. And so I can't just, build an army about what the other one may field, because each army seems to be so varying and different. But it was a good little list. Anyway, he rolled off and we played Mission 6, which was War of Lies, where we set up the board. Both people put down one objective goes in the center, and then each of you get 2 objectives which are placed randomly on the board. I placed mine in craters, he placed his in buildings. And at the end of the game, you roll off and see if you're on one of these objectives, whether it's actually worth any victory points. I heard on the original game that this was quite harsh because some of them could have been worth negative victory points, but that doesn't seem to be the way with the new version. And then we rolled off for deployment, and we got ambush. Nick was very, very happy with this. Ravenguard player was very, very happy with this because that's exactly what his lads do. So I chose to defend, and I chose the big circle in the center because if you go and have a look, it's like 2 end boards and and to the end of the table and a big circle in the center, and you got to defend the big circle in the center, or at least that's where you deploy from. So I set up in the center, and it was good. It was such a good fun game, and I got to admit, I no longer have any issues with balancing, because if I can run at 1,000 points a absolute pleb bottom rung army at 1,000 points, straight out of the box, and my opponent runs 1,000 points, including elites and characters, and it comes down to that amount of that sort of close run, the ending as close as it was. I think that in my mind, at least with this one fight, clinches any balance issues. I mean, it was close. It was only the difference was a few points on the table, a few models on the table at the end. And to my mind, that means it must be balanced, because if it wasn't, there'd be a total whitewash once the elites got on the table. So yeah, I was really happy with it. Anyway, I went and I got a video editor, and I edited the very choppy video feed with a little audio overview of our game. So please forgive how rough it is, because I am not a professional YouTuber at all. I just do this for fun. And have a look, and then we'll get back and I'll go over where I fucked up, how I fucked up, and what I can do to improve it and as I understand, that is true Gulliman thinking, you know. Find out where you fucked up, come back better. You know, everything can be analysed. Anyway, have a look at it and tell me what you think. Okay, we start with deployment. I've got the 20-man on the bottom, a 10-man on the top with the champion, and I've got the tactical support guard on the corner with the dreadnought behind. The Ravenguard have 10 men in this tower and 10 men in the opposite tower with the chaplain sitting on an objective. All seems good. First round, I lose 4 to shooting, but all my lads gang up and about 50 shots are poured into that single squad into the tower, along with those rotor cannons, and wipe them all out to a man, but he passes his leadership and sits on the objective. The dreadnought pops around the corner, and with the remains of that 20-man squad, they start popping off shots at the tactical squad. They use their Ravenguard Shroud special rule and go and hide around the corner. This is where my shit starts to get fucked up. The Ravenguard's Dark Furies deploy and pull some major bullshit, which is, you know, cool, but bullshit. I was just managing to get into combat straight out of deployment. That unit charges into my 20-man squad. And, yeah, the unit gets wiped out, but the chaplain survives. Dark Furies are absolutely devastating, and in one round of combat, completely annihilate my 20-man squad and jump up onto the tower. Me not knowing what... Oh, and the chaplain engages the dreadnought. Me not really knowing what to do. Didn't fully understand the idea of telepathy for the Librarian, and it shuts down reactions, and I lose another squad. The tactical support squad doesn't really know what to do, so they charge instead of shooting because I'm an idiot. And, you know, it goes about as well as expected. Half the squad wiped out in one turn, but the champion does get his first challenge kill and kills the sergeant. The dreadnought manages to kill the chaplain. Next round, the squad is completely wiped off. I have no men left on the board at all. I only have the dreadnought. The Ravenguard Dark Furies jump down and attack the dreadnought. Dreadnought kills one and then detonates, leaving only a single Dark Fury and the telepathy Librarian on the table. Ravenguard win! Okay, as you can see, those... I was doing quite well up until Dark Furies arrived. Now, they didn't come in when the opposite general wanted them to, I will admit. They came in quite late in the piece. He didn't get his reserve role when he wanted it. Up until then, I thought my shooting was going quite well. I'd wiped off almost completely both his tactical squads and had him actually actively hiding behind buildings to avoid being shot at. But the moment they arrived, they took out a 20-man squad like nothing. Oh, it was savage to watch. And then the Librarian, armed up with telepathy, who not only could shut down reactions, but cause pinning. Oh, so good, so good, so good. I wanted it. I wanted it on my side. It was that good. I thought. I had no qualms about it being used against me, because if I had the opportunity to use it, I would have used it myself. Oh God, that's terrible. Yeah, it was just a nice game, but it literally came down to after the dreadnought blew up, took out another Dark Fury. There was only a single Dark Fury left, and the Librarian General. So, for 1,000 points, even if I'm just running plebs, and he's running plebs and elites, and it comes down to 1 or 2 models at the end of the game, I think that's balanced. I do. I think that sounds balanced. Well, that's balanced in my mind, at any rate. Anyway, let's get some of the lessons I learnt from that game. Always come away with some new learning experiences. That way you'll get better. I'm a true big believer in learning to win by losing. You don't learn to win by winning all the time. You gotta get kicked in the teeth to get up, you know. So these are I've written dot points down here on this bit of paper. Okay, so as you can see here, So you know that I actually prepped this at least a little bit. I'm not sure if freaking filling some crap out on a Word doc counts as prep, but nonetheless. All right, always use your units would be number one. Don't let your units sit idle. I had 2 rounds where where some of my, well, a assault squad, not assault squad, I keep saying assault because they got those big guns. My assault cannon squad, my tactical support squad, did nothing. They just stood there, and I didn't do anything with them. I didn't move them. I didn't attempt to grab or move them into a better position because I knew everything was coming to me. Bad idea. I should have moved them to a better position. I should have made the Dark Furies come to me. If I'd stepped back, I still have a 48-inch range with those weapons. Why didn't I run with them, make them come to me, and use that 48-inch range? Bad move on my part, but lesson learned for next time. Next up, this was suggested to me by one of the blokes who was actually watching the game, is that actually run yourself separate to the actual game. Run mini objectives, like have a plan within a plan. You got your objective battle of what needs to be done. Freaking stay on those objectives, capture that, freaking kill the boss. But run mini objectives for yourself. Get your men into a good situation where they can actually achieve something. And I wasn't doing that. I was literally, my entire focus, I honestly forgot about the objective game and just thought about defending the tower and just getting everything off it. Cost me the game. All right. Troop versus troop is a numbers game. Like if you're just using a 20-man troop, 20-man bunch of standard troopers, 20 men will beat a 10-man. Now, that sounds like easy maths, doesn't it? But if you sit there and they do their 2 shots with their assault, plus they get that extra shot for not moving, 30 shots is going to hurt even something with like Terminator armor or those, shouldn't have done that, or even those really heavy hitters. So, yeah. 30-man squads can put out a lot of punishment and a brick if they need a full turn for even an elite squad to remove from the table. So, yeah, numbers count. Also think if I had an apocryphy with them and just cut those numbers down a little bit, I don't know, this is something I'll practice next time when I get these ones finished up. Cutting it down to like 18 men and having an apocryphy, which will have that extra +5 save, will that give me a better edge? It's only 2 wounds, but with an apocryphy, everyone gets an extra save. So to me, that sounds like a net gain. So that's something I'm going to try the next game. Troops versus elites. Elites will always wipe your ass. Like, not wipe your ass, they kick your ass. Fucking kick your ass. Stewie, you bloody nonk. And my goodness, didn't they just? They came on, the Dark Furies got on the board. The game was just about over, what can you do when they just come in and hit so hard? Can't react, can't move, can't shoot, pinned, and then just have someone and come in and jump on the back of your neck. So good. Not getting reactions is painful. I need to find a way to kill Librarians. Now, there are characters that do this very well, but from what I gather, the easiest way to do this will be to get one of those small 5-man units have the Nemesis long-range bolt guns and shoot them before they even get to the top of the table. That sounds like the easiest way to get rid of them. But I'm not spending that much money on this game just yet. I am still trying to get these base models painted. So nothing new's been bought, but it is something I will have to address: how to get rid of a telepathy-based Librarian. Here's the other thing. When you get into close combat, Librarians are still dangerous, especially when they're armed with a Thunderhammer. So, yeah, just keep them at range Keep those buggers at range. You're not going to have a happy time if a Librarian is close. Other things I learnt was that last time I asked a question about the Libertine axe getting on a chaplain getting mastercrafted. Now it does get mastercrafted, but mastercrafted only allows you to re-roll your first 2 hit rolls, which I didn't know. Which is good to know because you don't want to make mistakes like that in a game and make a fool of yourself. You never want to be the guy who looks like he's bending the rules for your own good. My other thing I learned was don't bank on a single character being able to do what he's supposed to do. Because twice now, my Legion champion with the Thunder Claws, Power Claws, Lightning Claws, has gotten into combat, and both times he has managed in his combat, in his first round of combat, when you roll 5 dice, to roll 4 ones. So absolutely, yeah, he'd be devastating if he could hit, which he can't, which he doesn't. So don't bank on one character. A very Ultramarine one, which nearly caught me out, luckily I was just in range, was be mindful of the 6 inches in when you come to use your special ability. The 6 inches, because you get within 6 inches, your next one gets +1 to your roll. Be very mindful of that. It's not as big as you think. But yeah, I enjoyed my game. I had a great time. Thank you very much, Nick, for playing me. Thank you, for your Ravenguard were beautifully painted. I met a lot of good people there this time at the game shop, Beyond Odyssey in Perth here. Check it out if you can. It's really just an astonishing shop. Did I mention it's got a bar? Anyway, loved it. Loved it, had a great time, 1,000 points. Now I've just got to paint up more so I can have bigger games. All right, I hope this all edits together well. Oh, and thank you, everyone who bothers to comment and tell me, drop bits information. I really, really appreciate it. You're all champions. I've actually got 25 subscribers. That is amazing to me that 25 people actually thought this little spiel is worth listening to, and I really appreciate it, and I love the comments. Keep them coming. Anyway, this is just a video on the 1,000 point battle and my thoughts afterwards. Next up, or probably in a few days' time, I'll have a chat about these 2 tanks and my new chain-fisted Terminators, because I have no anti-tank in this army whatsoever, and I think that's a bit of a deficit. I haven't faced tanks because I've only been running small battles, but we'll see how we go. Nonetheless, take care of yourselves. Give your missus a kiss. Look after yourselves. Love your lawyers, and ta-ra.